Hey guys, Sandy here, and today on this Throwback Thursday, I'm getting ready to share with you my 2005 albums. So I actually have 2005 in two parts. So I'm going to take part two away for right now. And of course, these are the old Creative Memories albums. I was quite the album snob way back when and would only use Creative Memories albums. I just felt like at the time they were the best quality. And I used just page protectors that also had the strap hinge option. So you could also use these in a three ring binder or what are those things? A post-bound album. These were Pioneer page protectors and I loved them. I actually still love them. Don't have any bits about them that are, you know, fun. So this is the 2005 part 1. 2005 part 2 actually looks the exact same way. I made my own stencils with Making Memories rub-ons and metal like brad things. I still have these and I still pull them out occasionally, so I still love them. I'm trying to get it in here. Okay, so we start out with 2005. This is using a label maker and buttons and like starting to get a little bit of layering in here. Using a safety pin with a tag through it. Thought I was very avant-garde right there. Thought I was the bee's knees. I learned how to tie these little like invitation bows and obviously had to make that happen. Did some just a little bit of stamping here. And then here, just the kids, matting my photos, like some basic color blocking. My marker matched my journaling, or my journaling marker matched the layout. Rub-on titles, faux stitching, and then we come over to this one, and it's got the real stitching. Real stitching, ribbons, still with, what are these called again? Rub-ons. My journaling pen started out green and then turned to silver. Don't know what that's about. Here's that little bow thing I did again. Didn't really like this white space over here, so added this little piece of pattern paper with some brads and thought again I was really doing something there on that layout. Over on this page, still using lots of rub-ons, embossing on some vellum and then using brads to put them on. Like triple matting my photos. I love the look of a triple matted photo. Still love it these days. Then we have this one, like not a whole lot going on here. Sizzix letters, like just a plain white cardstock journaling box. And then over here, paper tearing and ribbon, and like cutting up the photos into different sizes. Here I liked this layout so much from the very first. I recreated it and used that same label maker here. I actually even used the same ribbon, but hand wrote it there. Still into the color blocking thing. I remember this page and I cut my basil cardstock here too thin, and I was so like protective of the basil cardstock. I think it's like right when I discovered it, because they used to come in those color packs you could get at AC Moore. I didn't cut it. I just left the gap there and I was like, we'll just deal with it. But like not a lot of matting, just one photo was matted. Okay, on this one, serendipity squares. Does anybody remember these? So you would take bits of paper, vellum, whatever you had. Some times they had brads on them, and you just glued it all down, and then you cut it up into squares, and they were called serendipity squares. Definitely a lot more journaling back in 2005, and I think that's probably because the kids were little, and I wanted to like record the things. I remember this was a challenge to do an interview, and then this is 4 different papers sewn on the background there. And I had already, so it says, why were you in the toy box, Lana? It's a shoe box. I said, I already made the page, darling. We're calling it a toy box. Lana says, it's a shoe box. I said, why were you in the shoe box, Lana? I was playing with my lion and Chloe's doggy. Didn't it hurt sitting on the shoes? No, I sat on my slippers. Did you like playing in the shoe box? Yes, it was fun. But I remember, like, the challenge was to do an interview. So I made the page because I had the photos, and then I asked her about it, and then I realized, you know, Shoebox Tot didn't sound as cool as Toy Box Tot did. So here is another layout, some more like almost color blocking. This is when I was starting to like play with different kinds of patterned papers, like multiple patterns on the same time, because before that I was very like cardstock one pattern paper, but like I'm starting to play more. Lots of paper tearing too throughout this time. Here is some basic gray, and I just thought like the basic gray papers were gorgeous. Little intimidating back then. Metal is a huge thing, like photo corners, tags, all that kind of good stuff. But you know, not a whole lot of layers. I do have ribbon and such things, but not a whole lot of layers yet. Not a whole lot. Here is another page with more paper tearing, like different. There's more layers going over here. This is like a color blocked layout with paper tearing, so I thought that that was awesome. And again, like this photo isn't matting. The photos really aren't overlapping a whole lot right now. Here is this one, more stitching. I stitched a lot. Here, look, there's like more paper layers going over here. This is like the start of how I kind of scrapbook now. Like there's multiple layers. More metal. I loved metal. And again, more layers, some stitching right here. And then over here, look, 2 layered photos, putting staples right through the photos. Like this was when I really started to feel like I was like, whoa, I was having some fun here. And then here, like one photo. This is the year where I started to put one photo on a layout. And I was like, okay, if I put one photo on a layout here, there has to be 2 here. Or if one photo, there's got to be more. Or I felt like this is good because if there's one photo here, there's a bunch of photos here, and it's all evening out. And now I just don't care. Like I just do the page the way I want it to do. So this, I thought I was doing something wicked cool by not having all of these paper layers underneath the triple matted photo, and like one of them goes through it. Thought that that was cool. These were pre-made letters that I had purchased, stitching and faux stitching. Made that happen. Double matted the photos. And then this paper has faux stitching on it, so I really stitched it. And I really love the look of titles with different kinds of fonts and letters and stuff, and I still love that look. These are Sizzix letters, more stitching, lots. Look, this is got my first ink pad and inking the crap out of everything. Okay, here is a double page layout, ribbon across the page. You know, I made sure that this was basically flipped and mirrored. Still lots of, oh shoot, why are rub-ons? Why is that word just, you know, leaving me? These are before I got Prima flowers. These are like the little plastic, not plastic, like fabric-y, plasticky flowers from the dollar store. Then we have this one, and you know, just wanted to take pictures of the Jeep and really just document them. And this, I remember making this page, and I had like a conscious effort of not doing a lot on the page and just wanting it to be the Jeep, because I wanted the Jeep to be shown. And then here we have more Jeep papers, and you know, this had some distressing on it already. I added more ink, tags and label holders. This is still something I love. And this was like the girls keeping up with the guys. So we were in West Virginia at our in-laws' old place, and we went up into the woods, and I had to prove that my Liberty could take on his Wrangler, and they both did great. So lots of fun. Here is where I'm kind of like playing with a different look, I guess. This is probably way different than anything else in my album so far. But then here we have just, you know, photos, one photo matted. And then these were cut out with a quick cuts. Okay, and then this is when I first got my little stamp set. And these are also cut out with some sort of Sizzix letters or something. So I've got multiple photo mats, a little tiny bit of layering. These are still very, very flat pages. I did not get into the big bulky pages. And then this is how I would deal with like lots of photos. I would just crop and cut out the parts that were important and just plop them down on a page. I still love these. I still love looking at them. And then we have more paper tearing. And these are kind of like peeking out things. I thought that this was awesome, swinging with my dad. I had the tags hanging from swinging. I thought that that was, you know, pretty amazing stuff I'd come up with there. This is Basil cardstock in that blue pack, where I was talking about earlier how the Basil cardstock used to come in like 4-color packs, and it would go from light all the way to dark, and that's what these are. And then vellum sewn pockets. I thought I was just like the coolest thing ever coming up with that. And these decorative tags, I just thought that those were just the best thing ever as well. And then over here, still more sewing on the page. And still like comboing fonts and handwriting and everything to make titles. This is just fireworks. This title kind of gets lost in here, but it's the same color cardstock, so I was fine with it. This page has no title. It's just the date. I think I'd always planned on putting a title here, but I had no idea what to do with it, so we just didn't. Then this is a series of just the family, like my husband, and his is obviously all blue. I'm in all pink. And here's another pin that started out silver and went pink. I don't know what these were, but that was frustrating. Then we have my son, first daughter. Look, it does it here too. I don't know. I don't even know what pens I was using back then. But like, you know, I'm playing with layers and inks and all kinds of things here. And then this makes no sense. So this was definitely something I was doing. Like his doesn't have a name. Mine's my name. His is his name. Hers is her name. And then this, we go back to no name. no idea what. Here is another layout. And this is like the start of my L's, which is one of my go-to designs. And then this is my daughter subtly flipping off everyone. Lots of ribbons. Again, die cut titles, chatterbox papers. Still like starting to play with layers a little bit more. I love these metal book plates. I thought these were like the bumpiest thing, and I was like, these are the bumpiest thing that'll ever go in my albums. And you know, we're way beyond that now. Lots of photos layered up against each other. You know, more ribbon, lots of crooked ribbon, it looks like. Still cutting out little bits of photos, stamping. Still doing that faux stitching. I love this photo because here's my son telling them to look. My mom's trying to take a picture. Again, more ribbon, more of these metal things. Here is a pre-made tag, and again, like little bits of paper layers going on there. And then here is one more of From the Mud pictures. This was a pre-made title that was in a long strip, and I fussy cut it out. Obviously before I even knew what fussy cutting was. I don't think we called it fussy cutting back then. So that is part 1. Grab part 2. I love looking through my albums. Like, I just love it. So here is Family Life 2005 part 2. And like I said, the exact same title page, just part 2. I don't do that anymore, but for 2018 I have a plan to make them all similar, starting with the same background paper but different, and I'll show you that later when we get to the 2018 albums. So here is a birthday page, metal, pre-made metal embellishments. I hand cut out the monograms. Monograms were way big then. Still boxy squares. This is a 2-page layout. Hit it hard, talking about the piñata. Oh, this sunburn. So this sunburn was horrendous. This is the sunburn I got while we were on the lake, and I was wearing SPF 50, and yeah, it was terrible. My hair was much shorter then as well. Here is my goofy husband and brother playing with a old decommissioned launcher. Craziness. Okay. Here's where we're really starting to get into different layers and different textures. So I have multiple layers, I have different textures, I have these epoxy square things, I have ribbons, rickrack paper. So this is where I'm starting to play a little bit. And then look, another monogram, more rickrack, funky cut letters. This was our kids' first flight on USA 3000 Airlines, which was an airline that was exclusive almost. Don't want to say totally, but it was like owned by the same people who own Apple Vacations, if you guys know what Apple Vacations is. So here, a stencil monogram for Florida, just like 2 different pages, but they still kind of coordinate. And again, like I'm playing with things. I've got what is that? A paper crimped tag. Like we've got the metal going on. I have a rub-on right over top of the photo. We got some acrylic, ribbon, some more Jeep things going on here. And then a bunch of us goofuses. So when my dad passed away, we had these 2 deer heads and really had no freaking idea what to do with them. So we had set them on top of our entertainment center because I did not want them hanging up in my house. Not that I'm opposed to them or anything. They just didn't go in our house. So we started doing this as a joke, and I just decided to take photos of us all looking up. So here we have more metal. This is embossed metal, like the edges are embossed, and then this is fully embossed pink. And then again, another one of these little book plates. Still love book plates. Still think they're awesome. Here is a page about my kids and when they were scrapbooking. Back in the day, they thought scrapbooking was the coolest thing ever, and they all wanted to do it. Now they've all moved on to other things. Here is when we dressed the kids up as Thing 1 and Thing 2 and the Cat in the Hat. And I actually printed out the Cat in the Hat and Thing 1 and Thing 2 and cut them out. This might be the only printable I've ever done. Maybe. God, they were so cute. So here, this is, it's the Liberty off of the Jeep Liberty. Look at that mud, so much fun. So this was the Katrina run. So there was an off-road park in Pennsylvania, and it was a Katrina benefit run. So basically all the money that came in while we camped and off-roaded went to benefit the Hurricane Katrina people that were affected. So that was a lot of fun. So here, again, 2 different kinds of titles. Metal, still big time. I've got some epoxy clear things to like highlight dirt and mud on this. And look, starting to get a little bit of layering. Still a little bit of layering going on. Brought back the machine stitching and rickrack. And just doing different paper layers, metal pieces, journaling on the tag that you can hardly see. And then this is my Liberty. Loved this thing. In the mud. Such fun. And then these 2 characters thought that they were going to be cool and go through this big mud puddle, and the water came up. I mean, they had a snorkel, so like water wasn't going to go into their air filter or anything. But they got stuck and had to get pulled out. I Dream of Rocks. Again, couple different ways that I did the title. 2 different rub-ons, a metal, and some stamping. And then this is camping while we were there. Look at the kids in their little camp chairs. So much fun. Look, journaling right on the page, not journaling in like a block or anything like that. This, I thought I came up with this and thought I was just the coolest thing ever. I made like the Jeep grill. I actually still really love this. I think it's the coolest thing ever. This says, "Give me liberty." And look, my stickers are starting to yellow. I actually still have these stickers. I might get rid of them. If they're doing this, I might get rid of them. Okay. This is the Rock Creek up at Roush Creek. And it's gorgeous. Look at all those rocks. Those beautiful trees. Okay, then we're getting into winter and Christmas. So we're almost at the end, guys. So just taking pictures. Here is the Christmas tree. I thought that this was like this super elegant look I had going on here. This is a false tag. Nothing's coming out of that. Looks like my staple didn't actually staple it very well. Well, maybe we'll just leave it. Trimming the tree, this Making Memories metal thing, triple matting. Then this one is a 2-page spread. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So again, like different kinds of titles, different things that I use, and I still love this. Like, I just love it. More Christmas rick-rack. Did some like rolly kind of cuts here. Big old book plate and a tag and a big old book plate. Still makes me stupid happy, you guys. And then there's that bow tie thing that I learned how to make, brought it back. More paper tearing, lots of rub-ons back here, lots and lots of rub-ons. This is velvet, this ribbon right here. And it's got snowflakes taped on top of it. Some more sewing machine stitching. Another one of those making memories metal things. Journaling right on the layout there. This was our Max. He literally laid on the presents underneath the Christmas tree once everything was opened. He just loved being there. It was so weird. And then we have Christmas Eve photos of us all. Like, not great photos, a little bit blurry, but still all of us. Metal. This one is a metal piece and some metallic paper. I thought, you know, this was just amazing. This is actually back when I used to buy paper for photos. So this is a purple metallic, and I knew that my kids were in black and purple for this Christmas. So I bought the paper for Christmas. I usually don't do that. Not anymore. I buy the papers I like and put the photos on it. Here's another one of those monogram stencils. Picture of my husband. I loved that sweater. Here is Max. Look at this puppy. I miss him. He was a good dog. He was a pound puppy. So look at him. With ribbon and metal. And then here are some actual dog embellishments. He was a good dog. He was a real good dog. And then this page, nothing on it. Now I make sure that this page has something on it. Like, I don't let that happen. Like, I make sure that there's something on this last page. So there it is, guys. Thanks so much for joining me down this trip on memory lane, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.